Hiya, I'm Guttersnipe, and I'd like to welcome you to this, all of this stuff. It's called the Guttersnipe Podcast. My guest this week is none other than Bonnie Bloomgarden, the lead singer and multi-instrumentalist from a group of Los Angeles-based rock and roll dreamweavers called Death Valley Girls. She's also the host of the Death Valley Girls podcast, which is just immeasurably interesting. And if you've not given it a listen, I think that maybe perhaps that you should do that, because it's very good. They have a new album coming out in a minute. It's called Islands in the Sky, and they've just dropped a single from it called Sunday. And this is what that sounds like now.
Someday I gotta make a change. I gotta meet my fate. Don't know why I wait. I need a sign. I can't make up my mind. I need a sign. Oh, I need a sign. I need a sign.
So before we get into it, I just want to say a huge cheers to the sponsor of this video.
A 1966 Ford, a country Squire 9-passenger station wagon. Don't worry about the equipment. Imagine all the fun you could have in the back.
Yeah, it's just you and me, and my producer, Bexy. So please do hit us up on Patreon, drop us a tip through PayPal. We'll put the links below, or buy our merch, which will be shown to you now in a picture that will be slowly moving across the screen, and then it'll come back to me. Right, with that out of the way, come with us now on a journey through time and space to the chat that I had with Bonnie. Cheers. Bonnie Bloomgarden, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks so much for letting me come here.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. It's such an honor to have you on. I really, really appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, for sure. I'm so happy to finally meet you.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Like not in the in the Instagram world. It's still a kind of digital representation of one another, but it's this is great. Yeah. Yeah,
it's super cool. It's crazy that it's 10 there at night.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's crazier that it's noon there. I'm not awake at noon, so well played.
Yeah. I'm not awake at 10. So
yeah. I get you. So where on the planet are you at the minute?
At this moment in time, I am in the mountain, in the mountains of California, and I am in the forest
Nice.
of Big Bear, which is like a place near Los Angeles. That's where we live, is Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Except for Ricky, the drummer, lives in Big Bear, and I'm at her house.
Nice.
As is my want.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's like you can't see, but we're right on the forest. It's really, really, really trippy.
yeah. Again, it's so dope that you've got your UFOs in the background.
Yeah, thank you.
Because I mean, I'm talking to Bonnie Bloomgarden. There ought to be UFOs in the background. It's fantastic.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry,
Yeah.
I have to do one thing. Hey, Tommy, get over here. Sorry, can we hold on 1 second? The dog
Of course,
is like
yeah. No,
doing something it's not. Oh
Absolutely.
my God, hold on.
It's an
Sorry.
honor.
Tommy,
It's an honor
come
that Tommy is involved in this.
Come on, get over here. Come on, up here. Up here. Come on. It's fine. Everything's fine. You're just gonna stay here for a little bit. I'm so sorry.
No, not at all. Tommy's a legend around these parts.
Oh, yeah, she's definitely a little legend, but
Yeah.
she's also like changing her mind about where she wants to be, which isn't.
Yeah.
She's not allowed to choose right now. Just stay with me. Everything's okay.
Sweet.
This is
So
us
sweet.
right here. This is
Yeah.
it.
Hey, Tommy.
Hi. Sorry. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Back to business.
No, not at all. Not at all. Never need to be sorry about Tommy behavior. That's wonderful. Entirely so. So, Bonnie Bloomgarden.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you on this show right now, and that's quite wild for me. I think you might be one of the most interesting human beings in the rock and roll world, as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, it's really great. So I thought there's so many things that I want to ask you, because you've said so many things, and I've heard a lot of them. But
Yeah.
I thought I would dive in the deep end of things and just say the phrase or the thing. Alice in Wonderland syndrome.
Whoa.
Hit me with it. Tell me about it.
Okay.
Tell me about your experiences.
Crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, I've heard you mention it, but just in very very in passing, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
Why are we not getting into this much more, Eric Blair? Surely, this is a whole interview in itself. But
Oh my God. Well,
yeah,
I'm starting to get the feeling we're going to have a lot of synchronicities in this conversation that are just going to be mind-blowing to me, including that is crazy. I never think about that, but can you hear me okay? Is this, everything's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just thinking about that this morning, and I never think about it. It's so weird, but I only just kind of heard about it maybe it was in a movie or something, and I was just like, that's how I am. If I hear something that like resonates, that's my truth forever until it changes, or and I think that syndrome is like is I don't know much about it, but my understanding, what I believe, is that I don't know my size, and things. I don't have spatial relations, and like in any way, like I'll walk through. I always hit my shoulders on the doorway because I think I'm just my head, or like when I drive, like I think the car is huge. Like it's a really weird spatial relation thing, but and I don't really know anything about it. It's just so weird. When I heard that was actually a thing, I was like, whoa, I think I have that. That's so crazy.
So those were just things that you experienced as a kid, and then later on you were like, ooh, that's me. Is that what is it like?
Yeah. No, it's something I experience it now. It's just I just didn't know that there was like a term for it, but it's I think a size spatial relation. I don't know. I'm learning a lot, and I learn a lot every day, but I think I mainly like imagine myself to just be my head. I never consider my body. And I think that might have something to do with it, where it's just like my size. I'm also, I don't know if you know this, but I'm super short. And people always like,
I've seen
surprised by it.
Yeah, I've seen you next to people.
Yeah, for sure. But it's people after every show are like, wow, you're so short. And I'm like, I guess I am. But so I feel like maybe at times there was parts of me that wanted to be bigger, and maybe it was a more imaginative part of that syndrome where I imagined myself to be tiny or to be super big, and never knowing exactly. But that's interesting because I was thinking about that today, and don't tell anybody, but that will be something about that will be announced pretty soon. So you must be a little bit psychic.
Well, cheers. I was it's something that's stuck in my mind, and I think I saw that interview like 4 years ago or something, but it's always stuck in my mind. So I also, it's just, it would make such a great band name. Alice in Wonderland syndrome as a thing. But yeah, it was just I felt, I just wanted to know. And I also haven't given it a Google. When I was doing my notes for this, I was like, I don't want to Google it. I just want to ask Bonnie, because it's the only place I've ever heard that thing.
And I say, or I'm sure this is for you too, as like an artist, like a lot of it is kind of being, or I feel like it's being channeled. So I don't necessarily remember the context under which I said that last time, but my belief right now is what I told you. And I guess that's what we're doing here. Talking about my belief. Okay, cool.
No, totally.
But if you do Google it, I'll Google it too after, and let's talk about what we find, because it might be even cooler than. I think I just saw it in a movie. Like I honestly wasn't anything. I'm not like a super well-read or like super smart person. I don't know. So let's find out more.
No, fair play. I've got really bad dyslexia, so Also,
Me too.
not very well read. But I think I think I soak in stuff because I'm not well read. Something else in my brain or just in me has is just, it sucks things in information wise that I know a lot of things, but I fucking didn't read them.
Well, I don't think we're all, I mean, I know for a fact we're all very different, and it would be really weird if we all only learned in one way.
Certainly,
You know, like that would be boring. And I can remember everything I've ever heard. Like literally, if you have a TV on in a room next door and I can hear it, I will be able to tell you all of that. But if I read, like someone tells me we have an appointment at some time next week and I read it, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'll just be like, yeah, it's a kind of, I'm a little bit famous or among my friends, famously bad at remembering reality of things I read. So I understand it's just, but yeah, everyone should soak up stuff in different ways. And I think it's so weird that until now, now like I have nephews and they're teaching math in a different way that makes so much more sense to me than it did when I was a kid. And it's like, oh, that's cool. They're acknowledging like everyone's different. Everyone thinks different, and doing it like one way, if it doesn't work for someone, like find another way. Like
absolutely,
don't just
the cookie cutter thing doesn't work, man.
It didn't work for me. And it's a bum out. Like everyone should be able to, like their special individual way of learning should be like honored, and like I don't know, but yeah, that's cool. I didn't know that I didn't realize or know that I was dyslexic either until like it was like, oh, that's what it is. Cool. Now I get it. Like it's just it's a weird twist on a classic.
Yeah,
you know?
No, totally. I didn't get diagnosed as a kid. I just had just learning disabilities and whatnot. But I think there wasn't any focus on that at all. So it was just terrible marks and a scowly look from a teacher that that's the thing. Bizarre. But like you said, I think things like that are changing a little bit. I think there's a little bit more focus on like individuals now in that world, like you were saying,
to a certain extent. I'm sure that's just
definitely I mean just that the concept exists these days a lot more than it did in like the early 90s, when it was very much cookie cutter stuff. So as a kid, sorry, no, go on.
No, go ahead. You're the leader.
Fair play.
You're the master of right now.
Cheers. Again, this whole podcasty thing is like I was saying just now, is so new to me because I've only ever been spoken to, like, so tell us about the new album. It's really weird. And then you can go, the new album and stuff. But when it's, but also I think with this podcast, I don't want it to be a Q&A about the music business and the career. I mean, I do want to know about career stuff. I'm going to get there 100%. But it's just in general, I think tangents are so important in conversation, and not sort of sticking to the right. So what's your Desert Island album and that kind of thing, even though I'm going to ask you that later on. Okay.
Oh God, I gotta get ready. Oh my God, what's it gonna be? I know what you're saying. It's such a, but that's, I think, what people will like. And I don't think people listen to, like, that's just one thing, is I don't think anyone listens to anybody's podcast if they don't want to hear what they're saying. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, it's definitely not like, I gotta listen to this. Oh God, I hate the way he does it though. It's this, that's like what brings me comfort, is I'm like, I don't know if anyone's listening, but I know if they are, it's because they want to. Like,
Absolutely. That's quite,
so I think
I've been thinking about that a lot recently, that like these days there isn't that like sort of control taste maker channel of things that you need. It also makes me not understand when people like hate songs or hate something, because back in the day it was like you hated something because it was on MTV too much and you were waiting for your shit to come on, like you'd be like, oh goddamn, Adele's on, but I want this thing to come on because that was where you took the stuff in. So these days it's like you can just go listen to it or watch it.
It's all up to you.
Yeah. There is
I
no.
think something I think about a lot is that like before, and I mean people don't really think about this, but they should, is that before like 20 years ago or 10 years ago, like you only heard the opinions of maybe max 50 people a day, and you knew them.
Yeah.
Like you weren't really hearing, and not everyone felt the need or had the availability to give their opinion.
Yeah.
And now it's customary and expected, and you're allowed. And so everyone that wouldn't have commented is now like, well, that's how I exist in the world, is my like opinion. And it's like, that's not real. Like your opinion,
absolutely.
It has nothing to do with it. It's to me, it's your appreciation of something is what it used to be, not like your, I don't know, I don't really like it, so I'm going to tell someone. It's like, that's not helpful. Or
it's very bizarre.
I mean, I think it's very strange. At the very least, it's very strange. I think it's kind of funny too, because it's a funny transition we're making into a world of being able to see hundreds of opinions about something you never even would have known was going on. Like, and it's changing so much all the time, and it's pretty funny. I mean, you could definitely take a very negative vantage point, but it's like, live a little. It's pretty funny.
No, it is. But yeah, like you said, it's bizarre, because I think Stephen Fry said it very well about it's like social media is like it's like a toilet stall, like a bathroom stall with a Cokie. You read it, it's like, but now it's like a desire to like, where's my Sharpie, where's my like marker, and I'm gonna but it's like, it's deeply it's in there. I find it very bizarre, but again, also it's quite funny, the the nature of how, and I think I used to get very triggered and very keyboard warrior, and now it's
cool.
It seems very silly. And
I mean, it is and it isn't. I think I just talked about it with someone, but like I never learned how to, like I stopped going to school because you had to use a computer, and like I didn't have one, and I didn't know how to do it. So I never learned how. I don't know how to use a computer in any way that a person reasonably should. So it's like, I'm not anti any of this, because it's like, if that's the way the world is gonna be, and you just take yourself out, and then you find yourself like me, like trying to sort of run a business, and you don't know how to do anything, like you're gonna look like a real ding dong.
No, fair play.
I look like a total ding dong all the time. Like the way I write emails looks like a 5-year-old, and it's not embarrassing, but it's like, it's like, it's a job, and like it's like, it didn't, or I always think of the analogy, which I think is like when your parent age people are like, organic food, that's a crock of shit or whatever. Sorry. And then you're like, when you were a kid, all food was organic. But now all food is like processed and blah, blah, blah. So you have to buy organic, and it's the same thing. It's like before there wasn't all of this stuff. So you didn't, it is ridiculous, but now it's just part of the human way. And if you take yourself out of it, it just kind of hurts you. But I get, like, it's also not healthy, but it's also, I don't know. I think it's funny.
The thing is, I'm so with you. It's all of those things at the same time, all occurring at the same time. Cognitive dissonance and all that. It's like, we live in a uniquely wonderful and terrible and horrible and brilliant and disgusting and time of
I'm really bad at
history.
This and that, but I'm trying to be more that than like. Is it this or is it that? It's like, no, dude, it's all of it. And like,
exactly,
our job is to, I mean, at least my job is to be encouraging
Yeah.
of the experience.
Yeah.
And
No,
you
totally.
know, I guess I don't know,
Yeah. No, I dig it, man. It's good.
encouraging of the wonder.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and
I
and
don't
you and
know.
you and you are. You have that energy. I think you put out such good vibes into the world, Bonnie. It's yeah, it's a
Oh,
remarkable thing. Yeah,
thank
like just
you.
in general, you've been such an inspiration to just our whole band. We've just, over the
That's so
years,
cool.
it's yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
so cool.
incredible
I hope we
stuff.
get to play with you.
Yeah, certainly, certainly. I mean, like it'll happen. I think, and
Yeah,
this is the thing.
I
Like
think.
we all lost those 2 years of our lives or whatever, and I think so many things got sort of like the trains all got taken off the tracks and stuff. But
Yeah,
it's I mean it's coming back and it's doing it's getting there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, there's a lot to process, like
yeah,
literally, like it doesn't just go away because it's like January 1st, bye bye. There's a
yeah,
lot going
yeah.
on. Hold on. Hey, Poodle, get over here. I don't know what you want, but it's not time. Sorry.
That's all
It's
right.
just like this little poodle thing staring at me like I'm doing something wrong, but I'm
Yeah,
not.
nice, man. No, that's so dope.
Sorry.
I feel like Tommy
Yeah.
is just like it's as far as the comic book or the film of that is Bonnie Bloomgarden. Tommy's there. I was so
I
stoked. I
know.
was so stoked when he got involved just now. It was like yes, that means the
Yeah.
world. So yeah, that's very
It's
cool.
real. It's real. There's not like, and it's a weird realization is like my whole experience, my true experience is with her, like my real life. It's like, I don't, like this incarnation, she is as much, there is no separation between the two. It's like,
Yeah,
I am this thing that has this best friend,
yeah,
and we're in a like bizarre relationship, and like we learn a lot, or I learn a lot. I don't know that she's learning a lot, but like we're together, and it's like there
yeah,
isn't me without her, which is funny because
yeah,
I'm not like, there's nothing else that you just don't think about that. Like, I never really thought about it before, but recently I've been like, oh my God, you and I have the same life. We
yeah,
are partners. I am
yeah,
partners with a tiny poodle,
yeah,
like that, a poodle mix,
yeah.
no less. You know what I mean? Like, straight up,
Absolutely.
if you were to tell me, like, when I was a kid that my best friend was going to be like a fluffy dog,
Yeah,
I would be like, no, it's going to be like a vulture or a bat or something,
yeah,
like something so much spookier. But it's like, no, my best friend is like an 8-inch tall, like fluffy white poodle named Tommy,
yeah,
who like has like a snarl because she's missing teeth. It's
yeah.
like, it's ridiculous.
Magnificent.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous,
No, it's cool.
but
It's
it's
cool
the
to see
truth.
that. It's cool to see that connection as well. So even just in the in the universe, it's a thing. Just so you know,
It's real.
you guys are a package. Even from people
Yeah.
who don't know you, and yeah, it's there. It's in the
Yeah.
it's locked in. Yeah. So
Yeah.
as a kid, right? Alice in Wonderland syndrome aside. What was the thing that music, right? Because that is, it seems to be your life to a great degree. But what was the thing that got you like bit? Like what was
Oh,
how did you find it? What got you?
yeah. Yeah. Well, it's weird because I just like finished writing a record about that, which is so strange because it didn't all like crystallize. I didn't really know, but this is my honest opinion is that when I was a kid, like around 5, I became obsessed with like Billie Holiday, and
Yeah,
not just her music, but the concept. I didn't know what drugs were, but I knew it was told to me that it was a sad story of how she had to sing every day to stay alive, or
yeah,
else she wouldn't be able to get food or whatever the story was told. And I just thought that was so cool.
yeah,
Like, I was like, oh my God, that's like so like tragic and beautiful. And I think now I feel that my honest feeling is that everything that we're super compelled to do that is outside of a reality we've been shown, like from our family or something like that, I believe it to be a past life, and a through line between your lives, between your that your just spirit and your soul has either done things before or always does them. And I believe that specifically jazz, shockingly, bizarrely, I went to school for jazz now. It doesn't make any sense. None of these things make any sense. And I feel like when you find yourself saying things don't make sense, it's because it's a past life type of situation. That's my true belief. I don't know if that's wacky.
No, I love that. But... No, man, no way. No, that's great. Is that why do you think sometimes, this is just on that train of thought, because I've thought this thing before, and maybe I've not given it too much thought in general, but do you think that's maybe why some people just come out of the box like that? It's like, like a Jack White type character that just, it almost seems like he's never strayed from whatever it is that was his thing, that he was like just from like 9 years old with his, because I've always felt a sense of sort of, I always kind of known what I want to do. Also kind of, obsessed with rock and roll and music and stuff since I was a very small child. But also very sort of lost and, find myself sort of battling in myself constantly and not really... so it's like, it sounds like a bit of a bizarre thing, and I'm a bit of a scatterbrained thinker, so please bear with me.
No, I'm listening. It's very interesting. I think that there's a couple things at play, like, again, it's not just one thing or another, but I think what's at play is that we are a soul or spirit that I believe is eternal, and we're just experiencing this life through like Bonnie's lens or Tommy's lens, and and that's what we come into earth as, is this just eternal thing experiencing their life through this lens. But we also are a makeup of all the bodies that have made us, so our parents, their parents, on and on and on. We have all of that stuff. There's so much in the physical makeup of us that is scientific, obviously, like where you can, they say if people went through starvation for a long time, in generations back, that affects grandkids and things like that. And so there's two things, and probably more, because whatever, at play at all times with all people. And so you might, like Jack White, I don't know anything about him, to be honest, but like maybe someone in his family was a musician, or maybe it was his past life, or maybe, maybe his best friend in a past life. It's just like there's so many options, but I think when you do something outside of what your physical body, generational stuff has ever done, I really think it is like a string between you and all of your soul. And I think at the end, it's like, it's not you trying to get to your best self at the end of your life. You started as your best self. You are always your best self, but there's conditioning and programming that has nothing to do with you. And it's not like, it comes from little things, like your parents or adults know not to just cross the street whenever. They know because either something scary happened or because they've been scared into doing that. But a little kid doesn't know to just not run across the street, and they have no fear about it. But you need fear so you don't get hit, but the fear keeps you from something. So it's like this whole thing where you're just trying to become yourself again. And like, I think that, there's just so many, but yourself is so many things. But I don't know. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. Yeah.
Do you hear this thing? Okay. There's like this groaning going on below me. Like, but I think that's what I think. And I feel like that's my answer for music, because there isn't music wasn't a part of my family, not in a mean way or whatever, but there wasn't like, it doesn't make any sense that this would be what I'm doing in any way. And I've been hell-bent on doing it. And I was too scared to perform until I went to school for music a lot, but I was too scared to perform. So it's not even, it was something like being compelled to do something against myself. So that's what I think. Yeah. But yeah, once I started doing it, I was like, oh, this makes sense.
This is for me.
Yeah. Like, oh, I get it. Yeah. For some reason you want to be a singer, and guess what? Like,
yeah,
you got to do that now.
Yeah, no, totally. I think that with that, because that past life thing about, like what I was saying about Jack White is, I think that's like a thing in me, right? Where I'm like, I feel like if that is the case, right? Which is, I mean, it's such an interesting thought. But if there is like, I don't know, sense that can be made of the lack of sense of things, because I know people that are just good at life, Bonnie. You know what I mean? Like some people they're good at it. And I'm like, how are you so good at being alive? It's incredible. And it's like all of this, know. Like, cause, you know, every day for me is this weird sort of, there's good ones and bad ones, but in general, it's kind of a struggle against myself, and I'm in my way, and I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you in your way the whole time? And I think my thing with having thought a little bit about sort of, you know, past lives being a thing, I'm like, I must have only had a few, because I don't know how it all works yet. And then I think maybe some people just have had many, and then they sort of come out of the box knowing how things are, you know, where shit needs to be, I guess. But that, it's just an interesting thing.
How many people do you know that are like good at life?
Very few. Very few, yeah.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, yeah, I think that's just definitely a very, very small minority of people. And I think that also just like, you're an artist, like, everything that is your struggle and difficulty, this sounds so stupid, but that's your process. And like,
it's deeply true,
the more you just sit in the idea that that's just how you do your beautiful, amazing art, that is not just like a painting over here, it's your whole life, the less it will seem like a struggle, and more, and I'm saying this obviously as a person that like struggles to like do anything but walk my fucking dog, but it's like it still is, every time I remember, like, this is just your process, like, you're an artist, like, your life is supposed to be a little kooky, like, it's not like, I think it would be more worrisome if, not more or less worrisome, but I think the struggle, there is no way life is supposed to be. It seems like there was to some people, and they really promoted that. And we're lucky to be part of a time where it's being acknowledged that there isn't a way to be. There isn't one way to be. There isn't one path to success. Success isn't even success. It's every day being yourself and feeling it, and even for me, is like, I've avoided like feeling stuff my entire life, and now I'm just like, oh my God, feelings are so weird. But it's like, that's just is what it is, and it's just about, like, you know, it's not judging yourself, because that's the biggest waste of time in the world.
Totally.
You know, like that to me is the only thing that is worth completely changing about, like, you know. And then I don't know, but I don't think you need to worry. I think you're an amazing artist, and being an artist wasn't, I don't think, ever really explained that that's every part of everything you do every day is for your art. And so all of the like struggles and, you know, like whatever it is, like, you know, the car goes by and it splashes on you. Something explodes in your face, like you don't get that thing you wanted, you know. It's just it's all part of it. And but judging yourself and contorting to other people is bad.
Yeah.
I do know that.
Yeah. I'm with you.
You know.
I'm
Yeah.
with you. I think that's also the thing about like rock and roll is that like kind of taking all of that in and then spitting it out with positivity, you know, because it can be construed as negativity. A lot of rock and roll in general can be totally construed as, you know, not necessarily the most emotionally positive sort of art form in the world, but it fucking is, because it is. It's all the bad shit being like expressed with, you know what I'm saying in my scatterbrained head, I think.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. It's so cool. I think about it a lot because it's like, especially why rock and roll is so cool. Part 5,047,000,000 is like music before, is like, it was all about being like soft and like being a background thing and not being emotive. And if you were going to emote anything, it was love and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And then these guys and girls and whatever came and were like, I'm feeling this way. Yeah. And I'm going to show you how I feel. Yeah. And that's what rock and roll is just like Chuck Berry, all those people are just like, I feel this way. It has nothing to do with that way. It is not soft and it's not contained and it isn't going to be easy. We're going to shake it out. And it's weird because that's at the core, I think the basis of a lot of world religions is to get it out. So it's just funny that like it's the basis of everything, and I think rock and roll does it really well. Just shake it out, get it out together, a group of us all together. Do it. I'll play the music, you dance. Like
absolutely. It's so cool. It's the ultimate sort of release, I guess, of all those little brain demons that, Yeah. And they're the
energy.
Yeah, certainly.
You have to release energy. It's not like, sleep is awesome and does a really, really, really good job of releasing a lot, but it doesn't release at all. You have to do something physical. Yeah. You can't just, I don't know why. I'm not a scientist, but I know that you have to physically, you have two choices, I guess. You can like drink and not, and you don't have to address any energetic issue. Yeah. And you can do, that's fine. I think that's fine too. But I think if you're not going to drink or do drugs, I think you gotta like dance or sing or do something, exercise. Like you gotta do something. And there's a lot of choices, but you have to do something. You can't just wish it away. It's like energy.
No, certainly.
It needs to move.
Yeah.
Can you hear the dog snoring?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
It would be welcomed if I could, though.
It's so totally funny. All right. It's like underfoot.
Yeah.
I can't believe you can't hear it. It's like so funny. Okay, sorry.
No, not at all. No apologies here, Bonnie.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Death Valley Girls, how did it happen? Because I'm so glad that it did. It's one of those things that has occurred in human history that I'm just really glad that occurred. There's some terrible things that have occurred, and there's some wonderful things that have occurred. One of those wonderful things is Death Valley Girls. How did it occur? Aww. From no Death Valley Girls to Death Valley Girls. Take it away.
Yeah, I know exactly what happened. It's funny, it started because of babies. As Larry's sister Patty had a baby B, and my sister Dina had a baby Milo, and they were in like a mommy group, and I guess a baby group too, and they knew each other, and I had just moved back to Los Angeles, and I needed to play music, and Patty needed to play music, and I guess Larry needed to play music too, so my sister hooked it up. And what's weird, breaking news, someone told me like 2 days ago, is that next year is our 10th year, which is insane to me.
2013. Wild.
So weird. I had no idea. But so that was 10 years ago, which is completely nuts.
That's bizarre.
Because so much has changed, so much has happened, you know. But the one, yeah, it's so weird. But I've had the dog the whole time, which is interesting too. Is I got the dog just before I met them, or just after I met Patty.
Yeah.
Because I used to take care of her dog.
Yeah.
And that's what inspired me to get a dog.
Tommy's been a Death Valley Hound since the beginning of the thing. That's incredible.
I've had her and that's weird. So that means I've had her under 10 years. I know that this isn't like, we're not on a dog podcast or whatever, but
oh no,
it's just interesting.
Again, like I said, I'm a big fan of Tommy, so
she's just, I usually don't do I'm usually not interviewed, so I'm like it's just funny. She's like, right, you know, it's just funny. You know, I think I hope everyone is okay with it. I'm sorry if it's like, I'm sure some people, you know, it's not whatever. But yeah, so we've been a band for that long, and yeah, it's crazy. So weird.
Yeah, it's wild to think. Goodness gracious. But again, I guess that's just what life is. I suppose everyone has that thing of like 10 years ago. How? Surely that wasn't 10 years ago, you know? I think it's just the way that time sort of expands as you get older, you know, less percentage of your life or whatever the thing in your mind is. But it is bizarre how it kind of just... Well,
I mean, the way I think, and it just isn't anything anymore. It's like, it's just weird because I was so different then, but now it's been 10 years, so of course. But then and without thinking about it, I'm like, man, I changed so much. But it's like, when we started, I couldn't talk on stage. Patty did all the talking, and not just that, but I couldn't order food from a waitress. Like, I was too scared to talk in the world. So it's now that I guess I get less credit now that it's been so long, but it's like when it was like 40 years ago I couldn't even talk. Now it's like whatever.
I guess
but it's crazy. But I guess that's the answer to your question, is it started because of babies.
That is quite wild. And Patty, just for people listening, Patty Schemmel is the bass player from Hole, right?
Drummer,
Drummer, sorry. Yeah.
That's okay.
My bad. Rhythm section, you know.
Fair
play. But that's
it's
also
all good.
It just adds a dynamic to the situation. That's it's quite wild.
It's super weird. When I think about that, it's crazy. It's like to not have like the confidence to talk in front of an audience of like probably then like 15 people, but to be able to bring Patty like personal lyrics is a very interesting dichotomy to a person. But Patty, I mean, I was always I was like, oh man, like I'm doing the same thing that Courtney Love did with Patty. And like I wonder, and at times I'm like, I bet I'm being more whatever. But it was super, it's crazy. Patty's done everything, and she's such a cool person, and Larry's such a cool person, and everyone that's been in the band has been super, super cool, and super, super really lucky that it all evolved as it did. It's crazy and weird. And
so even as far as lineup changes and stuff goes, because again, like, you know, in our world, you guys just sort of have lived on YouTube and things like that. But it always seems like the group dynamic between, even when it seems to be different members every couple of years or whatever, the group dynamic always has the same kind of just loveliness. It's always, it's a very cool thing to see, you know?
Thanks. That's so cool. Well, people are always like, it's a small world, but I think it's a big world, but it's a small community. So it's like, everyone we play with is like, wants the same thing at the end of the day that we want. It's like a small cult. It's like, we want to make people feel good tonight. We want people to feel heard and seen tonight. We want, and that doesn't have to be your band's goal. Like, it's cool if your band's goal is political, or if it's, whatever. But like our goal, it's like nobody everyone that has ever played with us like wants that. So it's like it's kind of like, I guess I think it's spooky and weird to be like, we're here to make you happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's also it's such a great contrast as well, because your aesthetics and your whole thing is just, it's pretty Satan, It's quite it's if you just sort of saw the thing, but it's like that contrast to me is also super unique and super dope. Like, I love it,
Thanks.
It's like, pentagrams on the forehead under the spell of love and joy is like, that's a unique world that you guys have created.
Yeah.
And I think it gives you such a, I don't know, it separates you from any kind of, being associated with a scene or something. I think in general, I feel like that's the vibe with Death Valley Girls. It's just its own world, which is in my mind kind of the mark of like a great fucking rock and roll band. So
thank you. I'm glad. Thanks for saying that. It's definitely like, there's things we could, I can't personally do anything but what is honest to me, because I used to have a serious drug problem, and to stop, I was just like, I can't lie anymore. This is insane. Like, I'm worth nothing. Everything I do is a lie. And so since then I've not, which I guess has been 11 years, which is even crazier, but it's like, I can't lie and I can't act. I'm not a good actor. Like, so it just is 100% truth. And that sounds so stupid, but it's like if you were in a, like, legitimately, like, the joy I am, I think it's spooky. I think it freaks people out. It freaks people out about like super Christian people. Like, that joy is like kind of spooky, and I love that. Like, I love that like spooky kind of witchy, like saucer-eyed, like cult kind of thing. But it's for some reason, something, just to go back to the past life stuff, is I got super sick, as maybe and I went to a bunch of doctors, and they had all these crazy ideas of like surgery and stuff, and it was just like, what the fuck? And then I went to this healer lady, and she just helps you heal yourself. But it was like, she's like, you're a jazz singer, and you've been she said I was a crystal trader, which is crazy. And she said, you've been a medium and a channel like a lot of times. And I feel that that's very true, is that like the joyful, like freaky, like seemingly satanic thing is just a channeled, like, she said I have a joy guide, but regardless of where it's coming from, it's a channeled energy that I can get. And I used to get it from drinking, and it's so fun. And I miss that so much, but I became allergic to alcohol somehow, which is so sad. And such a bum out. But it's like that, when you're around that, like being channeled, and I'm not special, it's just like, it's like being good at football or basketball or being good at poker. Like, I just am really good at channeling this energy, and it feels really exciting to be around. And so everyone in the band is being charged with this weird energy that I can now somehow magically get not drunk, and like everyone can feel it. And that's, I think, no matter who's in the band, we're all going through this channeled experience together. As stupid as that sounds.
No, not at all. Not at all. And even just hearing you say that, it's bizarrely correct, because you even through all of these digital pixels and sounds through the internet and stuff, you're that the honesty of your your art and your thing it's palpable stuff, and it's like not cool. that kind of shit is not to be taken for granted in life, like there's not like an air of any pretense or anything. It's just good vibrations,
That's awesome, because there isn't like a as you might know, there's no one here to tell you that you're doing it right. There's not like, and there's a lot that it's not like a normal thing to do. I'm totally aware of that. It's like pretty nuts, but it is completely the truth. And it's like, it feels good to hear it, because I'm like going pretty far out on a limb with this shit, and it's just like, wait, so thanks for saying that.
It means the world to a lot of us out here in the in the internet world, which is the real world, just in different places. So God bless the internet, and also, for all its good and its bad and stuff, it does spread good fucking energy, and you do a good job of that. I wanted to ask you another thing, because you've I want to ask you about Iggy Pop, Bonnie.
That's fair.
I think so as well, because it's not every day that you even speak to somebody who's seen him in the flesh, but you have collaborated with him artistically. And tell me about that. Tell me about that experience, the whole thing. Like, how did that video come about? How did because also I think he was like a punter of you guys on his radio show, right? Before that occurred?
I don't really know what punter is, but I'm
like a champion,
excited.
A champion of Death Valley Girls. Like, he was like
sick. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah,
a punter.
Cool. Yeah. He was
the whole thing.
Yeah. Continue. Yeah.
No, it's nuts. I'm glad you said that, because I even forgot. Because it's like, I don't know that most of us sit around and think about the parts of our lives that made us really happy. Like, I'm not just sitting around like, oh my God. And then like, oh, like you're just sitting around worrying or something. I don't know what you do, but this is a really weird story. It's crazy. Thank you for asking, because I think we should all think more about when our dreams were manifested, especially in December. I'm a huge fan of spending the month, because all kids are. And there's an energy to December that is so important, because the whole wide world only celebrates, or 95% of the world celebrates New Year's Eve and New Year. And like the whole world is saying bye-bye last year, hello New Year. So I think everyone should ask themselves this question: what is your meeting of Iggy Pop? And how did, so I'll answer it for you so that other people can answer it for themselves. Because I really want people to spend this month making lists and doing that, and not like New Year's resolutions, but like just what is good, what do you like about you, what do you want, like the things you just don't remember to ask. Do it now. December is my favorite, and as a kid that didn't grow up with Christmas, it is such a powerful month. You can feel fucking everyone getting what they want, getting heartbroken. It's real. It is no joke. So having said that, I will tell you the story, because it's fucking nuts. So some point we went to go see Rocky Erickson play, and the guitar player broke 3 strings and still shredded Eli. And we were like, after the show, Larry and I were standing outside, we were waiting to see him come out. Okay, there, I said it.
Nice.
And we were waiting outside, and Rocky comes out, and we're like, oh my God, that's Rocky Erickson. And then Eli comes out, and we're like, hey man, like, great show. That is insane. You played so good. And with all those broken strings, you're like an insane wizard. And he was like, oh, thanks. Like, what band are you? And we told him, and he had heard of it. And we were like, wait, what? Like, wild. Our band? That's insane. And so we like created a friend, or we're friends with Eli. We're good friends with Eli. And at some point we discussed that Rocky was going to go back on the road, and that maybe we should tour with him. And we were like, made sure that happened, because it doesn't even matter, but we have a manifestation list that we started 10 years ago. On the top of it is Rocky Erickson, Iggy Pop, Butcher. Almost everything you've seen that we've done is on that list, which is weird. Not everything on the list have we done, but everything we've gotten, it was on that list. But so
the rest of the list is still to come then. Well played. Very well played.
Be. I hope so. We're not asking too much. But so then not only did we get to go on tour with Rocky, but Larry got to be in his band. And so we drove to Austin for them to have practice before the first show. And we drove there the day before my birthday. And then on my birthday was Larry's first practice with Rocky Erickson, his biggest hero in the world. We drop off Larry to play with them. And I don't know if it was the next day was my birthday. I woke up, it was the morning, and I woke up and there was like a Twitter notification on my phone. And it said, Iggy Pop, Death Valley Girls are a gift to the world. And I was like, wait. And I thought someone photoshopped that or something and texted it to me. It was just so weird. And I was like, and I showed it to, I think it was like Alana was in there. I was like, what is this? I don't understand. And she was like, that's on Twitter. It says like Iggy Pop wrote a tweet and it says that we're a gift to the world. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, I just don't understand what that means. In reality, like he knows our name of our band, and he is playing it on his radio show, and it's my birthday, and I just couldn't accept that it was happening. I was like, who did someone pay him? Like, it's my birthday. It seemed too big. So that was the beginning of it all. And was like, which is just such an insane thing to happen. And then they like got me a black birthday cake that said Iggy loves you, and I just was like crying, and I was just like, this is insane. Like, and it was too much. Like, I wasn't even really nice that day, if I'm being honest. I was kind of like bitchy because it was almost like a defense like, this can't be real. But anyways, so then we had evidence that he knew us. There's evidence. And then I guess he played another song a week later, and he said that something about, this is too much information, like as far as it being too long of a story, but he just made a joke.
Bonnie, I promise that nobody listening, including me, is going to think, you know what, she's really dragging on about that story, about that Iggy Pop thing. I promise you.
I mean, but this is just like, this isn't, I wouldn't like usually talk about it this much, but I think it's just now that I've never really said this whole story, but I think it's just a good time.
No, it's brilliant.
So he played another song, Glow in the Dark, and he said something about like, and I have it all taped obviously, but he said something like, I wouldn't mind if they painted me with glow in the dark paint and dragged me through the desert or something like that. And we were like, whoa, that is an invitation as far as I'm concerned. So that kind of opened up our mind to the idea that he knows the name of the band. He played it twice, so he likes us.
Yeah.
And this is on purpose. Like, this isn't an accident. This is really happening.
Yeah.
And then we did a lot of work. Like, all of our first videos were with our friend Kansas Bowling. Great director.
Yeah.
Great actress and great friend. And she's a master manifester. It's insane. They manifested themselves into a Quentin Tarantino movie. Like, they're legit manifestors.
Yeah.
And she said that she had a dream about the Andy Warhol eating a hamburger thing, but it was Iggy. And she was like, I had a dream and we should make the video. And Larry and I were like, yeah, that would be so cool. Like, it's never going to happen. And then I think we were like, you know, like had no idea how to make something like that happen, but she's a master manifester. And I guess a few months later, she had gotten in touch with him and he loved the idea. And, you know, and he was like okay with eating a burger, even though he was a vegetarian. Yeah. And so we weren't going to go. So he agreed to do it. And we were like, oh my God. So we got Kansas a plane ticket and we got everything ready. And then like a couple weeks before, someone was like, why aren't you going? Well, I was like, well, I mean, I don't have anything to say to him. I mean, everything that I would say to him, he knows. Yeah. Like, what am I going to do? It's not going to help him. Like, I'm not going to help him. It's not going to help anyone. And they were like, what are you talking about? Like, you have to go. Like, certainly. Like, why wouldn't you go? And I just didn't even think about it because I'm so obsessed with like being conservative and cost effective. And it was like, I don't even know. So it was like, what, like $200 each for Larry and I to like fly there. It was like so not like it was so obvious that we should. So at the last minute, we like got plane tickets and we flew to Miami, and like it was just like we met him. And the next week on our podcast, we have someone that was in a radical spiritual community with a real guru. And I can say that the only time in my life I've ever experienced this was with him, where it's just you're totally nervous, obviously. It's like I don't need to explain that, but his energy and his physical presence is insane. It was crazy. It felt like it's like what you read about, and when people see gurus and go to these like, you know, Ram Dass or whatever, all these different people, and you're like, just when you're around them, man, you just feel so good. And like, you know, it was like I sat next to him and that was okay, which if you think about it intellectually, like, how do you sit next to Iggy? It's like you don't, but like his energy, and you wonder about all these super famous people, like how did they get famous? And it's because they are like, we're all God, but like some people have this energy that changes everything, and it's you can't like manufacture it. It's just like, it's so wild, but that's just what happened. He came in like, it's almost like I imagine like drugs. Like if you've taken drugs, that's what it feels like. If you've not taken drugs, what you imagine drugs to feel like is what it's like to be around him. It's just so, it's like, you know, just, it's amazing. He's incredible. It's so cool. And like, it wasn't something I knew even existed. And then he just like listened to the song a few times and like really was taking it serious. Like how he was going to open up the burger, eat the burger and put the burger down. Like he was really, and he memorized the song in like 2 listens, the whole thing, and then did it and then left. And it was just like, and then we walked on the beach, which is insane because we are not, like I've never, like Larry doesn't like take off his boots, but we started walking on the beach after to Miami, and it just started raining, and we were just like, like, you know,
the culmination of a spiritual experience.
Totally. And then it felt that way, like I physically felt like blessed, or I don't even know what a word for it is because I don't come from that kind of thing, but it was like it lasted like 4 days. And it was just a total peace, and it was more than like if you see the photos of us, we're just like we look drunk, we look so stupid, but it was like 10 in the morning and we were like, it's just I think it's so interesting because you always wonder, how do people get into these cults or these different things? And it's like, I'll tell you how. That person has something, and it's like it just feels so good to be around them. I can't imagine spending any more time with him.
Do you think it might have been overwhelming?
I think that's why those people have so many groupies. It's just like, it's not even him, aside from knowing his art and loving him as much as you can love. I mean, he's a god to me, obviously. So
likewise.
I have a Aretha bracelet. She's a god to me. Like, these people are gods, but I mean, even if I didn't know you would still feel that, and that's like really impressive. You know what I mean? Like it's because I often wonder about people, like, how did they get so famous? They seem so boring, and now that after we met Iggy, I'm like, I guess they must just give off something so intoxicating. And I don't think everyone wants to have that ability. But it's interesting the people that do want that, you know, like, and do have that, and where they take it. It's, I don't know, but so that's the whole story.
Thank you so much for telling us that story, Bonnie, because
that
is, you know, just even like I got a bit of a contact high from
Yeah.
that as a like I've got an Iggy and the Stooges staring at me on the wall right now. So it's like, he's, as far as that kind of figure. Because, yeah, man, I mean, I'd join Iggy's cult if he had one.
Yeah. No, totally. And it isn't like, I'm just like, just a fan, and I'm a really, like, I'm just a regular person. So it's like, yeah, it's just like, it's not like somebody... I just have a very brief, very small interaction with him that lasted 1 hour, but it definitely like changed my life. And I think a lot of people are like, can you get Iggy to blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, I don't know how that happened.
Doesn't work like that.
I don't. And it's just like, it's not like, it must seem like, if another band had that happen, I would be so jealous, of course. And I would forever be in awe. So I understand why it seems like something happened, but it's like, it's still as mysterious to me, and it's still as fantastical to me. And it doesn't, I don't often think about it because it feels like showing off, but I guess it's not. I didn't do it. It just happened. And like, so it's okay to talk about.
Sometimes showing off and inspiring others can look like the same thing, and in this case, I think anyone hearing that story is not gone, oh Bonnie, how dare you, sort of,
okay, good.
Spin the yarn about this incredible tale.
Larry and I are very similar in not wanting to ever make anyone feel uncomfortable or ever make anyone, like, and we don't. Neither of us, I think, talk about those things because it feels like showing off. So it's just it's funny that like you're right. It's not mean to talk about.
Not at all. I think it inspires. I think it just inspires. Awesome shit. Just totally.
Okay, good. Yeah. Okay, good.
It's definitely the way I see it, and I think people watching this will feel the same way. They'll be enthralled by that tale.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy for sure. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think before we bounce, what is your 2023 looking like, Death Valley Girls wise? What's occurring? What are your
we have a record coming out.
Yeah.
And it's the most important thing in the world to me. And we have a record coming out in February. I'm gonna spend December like wishing and hoping and praying and dreaming and writing. I love writing. I love like I said, I just really want people to don't waste December. You can waste all of January. Don't do anything in January, but don't waste December. It's a really, like, people are always like, full moon this, full moon that. Yes, but any one advice from a spiritualist is use December to live, to like make physical your dreams, and by writing and thinking and considering and daydreaming so much, and then don't do anything in January. But so I'm going to be doing that, and then we have a record coming out which it's called Islands in the Sky, which I don't know why it's called that. I'm hoping to find out soon. And we have videos coming out, and then we go on tour a bunch, and hopefully we play with you. And I want to go everywhere, so many places in the world.
South Africa is quite nice. I think you guys would dig it.
I have no idea what it looks like.
It's a very beautiful place. But Bonnie,
cool.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time. It really means the world.
Thank you so
been
much.
Fantastic to again to properly meet you, not in the Instagram world.
All the way away from our phones and onto the computer.
I know. Small internet,
crazy.
Big internet. It's like it's a huge leap. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy your time in the mountains.
Thank you.
I hope Tommy does as well.
Thank you. I'll let her know.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much. Well, let me know the info about this so I can share it.
Absolutely. Will do. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you again.
Well, thank you.
Cheers, Bonnie.
Okay, bye.
Have a great one. Cheers.
You too. Bye.
So that's it for episode 3 of the Guttersnipe Podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you dug it, and I hope you had a nice time. And yeah, if you would like to support the channel in some way that, with your hard-earned money, you can PayPal and Patreon and merch. Hey, Greasy? Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers. I'm Gory Guttersnipe. Bye.